Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is 2 o'clock, so we will convene the resident council meeting. This is the first meeting of our resident council with the new council that was elected back in March. And if you would, please silence your cell phone. One of our resident council members, Jerry Klein, is not here today. He had to attend a funeral in Nashville. But other than that, everybody else is here, and we'll go forward with it. On April the 5th, after the election last month, the bylaws called for the council to meet and elect officers for the year, and that election was held. I was reelected chairman for this year, and Jerry Klein was elected vice chairman. One of our new members, Ellie Appling, is now the secretary. And Dan Norton remains our treasurer. The other 5 members will serve as liaison to the committees, and I'll call on them when their committee reports come up. But we're glad to convene for a new year, and we hope that the council can serve you in any way that you would like for us to serve you. We'll start off with the treasurer's report. Dan?
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, the Employee Appreciation Fund is in good shape. We currently have $83,000, and that's comparable to what we had the same period last year. So we're good there. We have 184 independent residents, of which 154 are participating in this monthly plan, monthly pay as you go. That's 84%. That's a pretty good percentage, but we still have 30 residents who are not participating. So, to make it short and sweet, if you're not participating, see me. I got plenty of forms for you, and we would appreciate everything that you can do to help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. That doesn't mean that those 30 are not participating at all. Some of those people make an annual contribution, so we have a much higher participation of people contributing. In fact, it's well above 90%. So, but it does make it a lot easier for calculating and figuring it up at the end of the year if people will participate on a monthly basis. So if you can do that, we would appreciate it. Next, I'll call on Ken Plunk for a Village Foundation report.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon. The Village Foundation Board met this morning at 11 o'clock to review the year-to-date investment report of the foundation. But before I get into those numbers, I have heard that there's some confusion between the Village Foundation and the Employee Appreciation Fund that was just reported on by Dan Norton, which has about $83,000 in that fund year to date, and by year end we'll have upwards of $200,000. Those funds are sometimes referred to as the Christmas Fund, and those funds are distributed among the hourly employees of the village here in token appreciation for their service to us all throughout the year. So that is the Employee Appreciation Fund, sometimes referred to again as the Christmas Fund. The Village Foundation, and the proper name is the Village at Germantown Foundation, Inc. The foundation is a 501c3 not-for-profit corporation that is managed by a board of directors. Most of the board of directors are residents of the village. Two are non-residents of the village. And that organization receives donations from the residents as well as outside third parties. And from time to time, those funds are used to pay the monthly expenses of residents who have run out of money. At the present time, there's one resident that is being supported through the Village Foundation. So that's the way, in the way of background. I'll now get into the numbers. As you all know, the stock market has had some trying times this year. And as a backdrop to our investment report, I'd like to share with you the fact that year to date through this morning, the market's up today, by the way, a little bit, but as of the opening of the market this morning, the Dow averages are down 8.4% from January 1 to April the 28th. The NASDAQ, which is full of growth and tech stocks, is down 20.2%, which meets the definition of a bear market. The Standard & Poor's Index is down 12.2% year to date, and the Russell 2000 is down 12.1% year to date. Having said that, as all of you know, if you talk to stock analysts, the reason that the market is undergoing some reverses is the fear of a recession coupled with rising and higher interest rates, and also the war in Afghanistan. The market does not like uncertainty, and certainly we're living in uncertain times, both economically as well as world conflict. So now to the Village Foundation number. We started the year in our investment portfolio with $2,213,000. At March 31, that fund had decreased to $2,140,000, a 4.8% decrease, of which I was very pleased and excited. However, the market continues its decline in the month of April, and as of this morning, the balance in our investment fund is $1,989,000. So from the beginning of the year, we're down 11.5%, with which I continue to be pleased, since the Dow Jones averages is down 8%, the NASDAQ down 20%, and the Standard & Poor's down 12%. So that's the report. Are there any questions or comments? If not, thank you.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you for what the board does to try to build the funds up, but it's difficult. I'm sure any of you that have a 401k or any other type of investments realize that these are not good times for investments. but I think that it's being handled well here at the village. Next up, we'll do the committee reports. And this year, again, Margaret Owens is the liaison to the Activities Committee. So, Margaret, would you give us a report?
I say on a daily basis that we are all blessed to live here at the village. And Kaylee and Alexandria and Cheyenne make part of that. I mean, but we have people cleaning us, we have people serving us, we have people entertaining us all the time. And so this is what's coming up in the next month. Margarita Monday is the 2nd, and the village choir is going to come back after a 2-year, I think, time off because of the virus. Star Wars Day is going to be May the 4th, and you're supposed to wear your favorite Star Wars costume if you have one. Anyway, National Day of Prayer, we will have a service in the Bell courtyard. Cinco de Mayo is the 5th. The Tua Tree is the 6th, where you walk around and they're going to explain to you the different trees that we have here at our village. Friday night entertainment is Andy Brown, and he was here before. He's Mark Brown's son, and everybody just loved him the last time he was here. Pool and billiards is going to be Friday at 3 p.m., and they're going to have beer and soft drinks and pool in the pool room. And the Mother's Day tea is going to be on Saturday, May the 7th, for all daughters, ladies and their daughters and granddaughters. And the Kentucky Derby will be the 7th at 5 p.m., and that's usually shown in the bar. I'm not sure that it is going to be, but I think it will be. Okay, good. They say it will be. Okay, our May birthday party is the 10th, and so all May babies come to that. We have a guest speaker, storyteller, on Thursday the 12th, Phyllis Blackstone. On Friday night entertainment, the Side Street Steppers that everybody always loves. That's the 13th. Tom Hanks Movie Week. I think this sounds like so much fun. Every night there's going to be a movie about Tom Hanks, and that's from May the 15th through May the 21st. And then, like I said, we've got so many. We have a Vision vocalist on tour Sunday the 22nd, and it's talented students from a variety of local schools, and St. Mary's is one. On the 25th, an evening for the Drama Club. The Drama Club is going to put on some literary potpourri. Is that what it's called? Okay. And that's going to be the 25th, and Friday night the 27th is entertainment by Stem Stanek. And donuts are May the 7th, and then we have so many bus tours, and I hate to keep going on, but we've got Beyond the Van Gogh, and we've got Wednesday Riverboat, and Saturday May the 1st, Alice's Adventure in the Garden and lunch, and Oyster Trip on May the 24th, and the 27th, Discovery Park. So if anybody wants more information on those, I've got that, but I didn't want to read out what all of them were. But anyway, that's a lot of fun times. And thank you again to the resident services.
I keep forgetting to take it off and put it on. Thank you, Margaret. Another of our new council members is Allegra Brown, and she is going to be the liaison for the building and grounds, taking over for Jack Hinton, who stepped down. So, Allegra, welcome to the council.
Thank you. I have several items to report to you. Arbor Day will be celebrated tomorrow, April 29th, with a welcome to our newly designated tree trails around the village. The time is 2 to 4 p.m., and the gathering place is the Bell Courtyard. Brochures will be available as guides, and you have received these in your mailboxes, but they may have disappeared. There will be more, and it's supposed to be a fair enough day for it, and I certainly hope we do have participation. The long-awaited drainage project in 2 courtyards is scheduled to be commenced by June 1. Patios and balconies are to be washed in the next few weeks. Residents will be notified in advance. Removable items should be removed, and please ask for maintenance help if needed. Seasonal flowers are to be planted in the beds in the next 2 weeks. Please be reminded that, you've heard this before, that all items in storage areas must be in their assigned places. And this I want to call to your attention. The daffodils, hundreds of them, are now fading, but they have been glorious in their hillside location near the village garden. They are Laura Lee Apperson's gift to the village, and they will be enjoyed for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Allegra. David Stewart, David and Mary are chairman of our garden committee, and David has an announcement.
I'm not sure it's an announcement, but it's more of a comment about the activities in the garden. We have around 20 people working in the gardens this year. And I was thinking, when you were talking about the stock market and our 401ks, it's all the rest of the people can come out and sit on the garden bench or in the picnic area and look at the gardens and forget about their 401k for a few minutes. Planting in the gardens was running a little behind this spring because we had 16 days of temperatures below normal in April, and we had approximately 2 inches more rainfall than normal. So that had changed, but the last 7 days, things just changed. It's like gardens do. All of a sudden they pop up. We're about 80 to 85% planted now, and it's looking really good. There are a lot of flowers, vegetables, herbs, tomatoes, and even some strawberries. And I don't think Jack Hinton really wants you to know about the strawberries. Vicki and Carl have an amazing veggie plant, a garden. And you should go by, most of the garden is flowers and tomatoes and herbs and things like that, but they have, like you see at the vegetable stand, you're going to be able to find almost anything in that little garden. I don't know how they do it, but it's great. We'll talk about some of the other gardeners later as we go through the year, but the next couple of days are supposed to be beautiful, and I hope you all go out and see what is beginning to be a beautiful garden this summer. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Thank you, Mary and David, for all your work. It is a little late starting, but I think the garden is prettier right now than it's been in several years. And I encourage you to go out there and look. It's beautiful. Next is dining. Alice? I haven't done that in a month.
I've been let down. Jesse's not here, is he? Well, I'll give you my report. But he is supposed to be here, and he had some things to discuss with you. Maybe he'll show up. All of you know that we've had some really good parties this month already. So I won't go back and talk about them, but let's talk about what's coming up. And I think the one thing that we really do enjoy is the birthday parties. And I don't know about you, I like pizza, but I sure do like that new menu that they've come out with. And things are going a lot smoother the way they're serving us. And I think the birthday parties are just getting better. They've always been good, but they're getting better. But coming up immediately will be the Cinco de Mayo, and then the Mother's Day tea and the Mother's Day brunch. And then right after that, we go back into the birthday party. A lot of things coming up this month. The one thing that I do want to remind you about would be the kitchen tours. I mentioned it last time, and they did have one this past month. And I heard some people talking about, they were just shocked to see so many there at 8:30 in the morning already preparing food. And we don't think about how early the cooks come in and a lot of people to prepare the food. But they have to come in very early, and I think that this person was just really impressed that they were there at that time of day. Look who's coming popping in here. Anyway, that was my report. Come on up. Just, he took his apron off, and here he is. He will bring you up to date.
I apologize for that. Yes, well, always something, right? No, I was just meeting with U.S. Foods. I had my business review with them, and so we were going over 2020 and 2021 and how it's going to affect 2022, and so we got into a lot of the fun stuff with how pricing is going to be hopefully leveling out and all that. So I won't bore you with all the stuff that I was just bored with for the last 2 hours. So, but I'm not sure what Mrs. Funderburk.
I didn't talk about it.
Well, good. Did you collect all the tomatoes and all the? So nobody throws anything at me. So we had our dining committee this last week, and it was actually it was a great meeting. I think really they all are. Quite a few things came up. We did talk about staffing. We talked about some of the initiatives again that we're working towards for 2022. And I know Ms. Bond. I think that again. I think we had a great meeting. We will have creme brulee on very soon, Ms. Landrum. I promise. But one of the things that we had talked about was the removal of food from the Monarch dining room, and so I just wanted to go back to our old policy, which, a few years ago, and I'm not really sure how it changed, but regardless, we need to make sure that we're doing this again. The only thing that can be removed from the Monarch at night is their dessert. So really, when you come in and you enjoy your meal, we've been having some instances where we're taking whole boxes of shrimp and some other stuff, and I won't get into all that, but what I will say is just going back to our old policy of if you would like your dessert to go, because there is a lot to eat, and so if you'd like your dessert to go, just ask your server and they'll be more than happy to get you your dessert to go, dessert, fruit, or whatever that might be. So if you have any questions with that, please feel free to come grab me, or if you're really mad at me, Anna is not here today, but you can catch her for that one. But and two, if you're seeing folks, if you could help us, just give them a little reminder. We're going to do our best. I do want to make sure that if I will instruct the servers, I'm not going to have them chase anybody down or anything, but they will let me know, and I'll talk to them later. But I definitely don't want them to address it. I would rather that come from myself or TK or Anna or one of the managers that are on duty at the time. But real simple, but I hope it makes sense. And really, it's hard for us. There's a few reasons, but one of the bigger reasons is it's hard for us to really gauge how much food to cook when 20 entrees are in one box. And so it'll help us on quite a few in quite a few areas. Another thing that we had discussed is just we have complimentary items out throughout the community, whether it's coffee, bananas, apples, ice cream has been one thing. It's not complimentary, but beverages and that. If we just ask that if you see the bananas out, if you could grab one. We've had a few times where I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 have walked out in one bundle. So I just ask just to be respectful for the next person, and if you all would like a bundle of bananas or anything, just let me know, and we'll make sure and get that to you. But that has really come to a head, I would say, over the last month. I've been hearing some more, and actually there's some major concern on that. So I could really, really use your help on that, and I really appreciate y'all with that as well. One other thing I did want to talk about is dress in the Monarch on particularly Sundays, or probably we have the most opportunity, I would say. Just if you could, if you have family coming in Sunday to join us for brunch, just remind them just to wear normal, slacks or khakis. We try to stay away from the jeans. I know that's tough with some of the 17, 16-year-olds, because jeans are probably 10 times more than the pair of khakis. But just please make sure that they're not wearing shorts, open-toed shoes, flip-flops, things like that. And I learned what pedal pushers were a couple months ago, so try not to have those. But it's so if you could just help me with that. And really, it's just we love having the family here, especially this time of year. We're starting to open the doors back up, springtime. But if you could just remind them that'll help me out on my Mondays. Usually have a few messages each Monday that are telling me of a couple of folks that came in flip-flops or shorts. But I do, those are the two items that I really wanted to cover today that I was trying to save Mrs. Funderburk from getting beat up too much. So if you have any questions with that, or if there's anything that I can elaborate on, please, let me know. But we've been really excited about some of the entrees we've been having, about some of the parties we've been having, about the parties coming up. May is really going to be, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up in May. I do just ask, as I always ask whenever I get to talk to y'all, if we're not doing the job that you want us to do, please just let us know. If we're not meeting the standards or if we're falling short, please let us know. Please come and talk to me. If you get a meal at night and it's not what you want, please send it back. We would rather fix it then and you to be happy and to go home happy than for us to try to fix it a month later or 3 days later or 4 days later. So that's really what we're here for. And in the interest of time, I may run away. Staffing. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Funderburk. Staffing, actually it went from 2 steps forward to 4 steps back. Actually, we're at 2 steps forward to a half step back. So, as you all know, Tara recently left. Yesterday was her last day as our dining manager. Today I did make an offer to another dining manager. She's going to be great. She interviewed 3 times with me. She interviewed with Anna. She's met everyone. We will definitely, miss Tara, but she's got a great opportunity ahead of her with a catering job that that's her niche. That's what she loves to do, is catering and parties, and so she's excited for that. But I'm really excited for the new person to come on to fill that dining manager spot. In regards to the dietary manager in our healthcare center, we did promote Kim Parks into that role, so she is our new dietary manager. She's phenomenal. She's great. She's full of energy. She doesn't bring a ton of the clinical experience, but that's something that we can teach. What she does bring is the hospitality approach, the restaurant approach, and so it's going to be a little more training for the health, teaching her the dietitian part of it and the dietary part of it. But what she's bringing in for the hospitality part is something that it would take us years to teach. So we're excited about that. Cooks and the kitchen staff, I should say, we did. It's been about 3 weeks now. We lost 4 cooks in basically, I think, 3 days. I think, but 3 of them are coming back. 1 is already back, and so 2 will be. And then we've got a couple of applicants that came in today, so hopefully replacing them soon. That's not doom and gloom, because really we have a great team in there right now, and what they're doing, what you've seen over the last couple of weeks, if I hadn't told you, you wouldn't know. And that's what makes me happy, because we're going to have some of this in the back of the house, but we don't want you to see it. Server-wise, we are trying to find some kids. So, we're hopeful that once high school and college and some of these are out, we'll have some more of a pool to pull from. That won't help us in the fall when school starts, but at least it's going to help us build a better base to get there. And then with healthcare staff, we're rolling right along. We've got a new gentleman starting Monday, which only leaves 2 more spots open, and so we weren't in that spot I would say a month ago. So everything's, it's really looking up, and I don't, want to stand up here and put a picture of sunshine if it's raining, but really, the team we have is doing great, and we do need some folks, but we're being very selective on who we get in. The last thing we want to do is hire a heartbeat that we just turn in a couple of weeks, and so it takes more training and all that fun stuff, but we're pushing right through that as well. Is that good? I think I'm trying to bore everybody. Mike's ready, I think. I'm going to get the hook here in a second. That's all anybody have any questions or anything? No? Great. I'm going to run.
Thank you, Jesse. There are a lot of things that go on, but we don't see it. And we appreciate very much all you all do to make things pleasant for us. We still have the best food of any place in the town, and we appreciate that. And the service, too. We just need more of it, right? And I'm sure that'll be coming. But anyway, thank you very much. All right, do we have any new residents? Welcome. Ken.
Thank you, John. Before I get into the introduction of a new residents, let me mention that you all received the Village View, the monthly newsletter, in your post office box today. And I should mention that there's an insert to that newsletter, which is all of the contributions to the Village Foundation for the first quarter of this year. And if you're interested in making a contribution to the foundation, you'll find the brochures at the front desk, and there's a form on the back of that brochure for you to make a donation. Thank you. Now to the new residents. We have 3 new residents since last month. Unfortunately, I don't think any of them could attend today. First is Roy and Trish Stevenson. They moved in on March the 28th into C-119, and Trish is the sister of our own Leanne Bailey. There was a death in the family, so they couldn't be with us today. Also, Art Scheffler moved in on March the 30th. He moved into E339. He's originally from California, and I just got a report before the meeting that Art had to meet with his attorney today, so he's not here with us. But when you see him in the hall and in the dining room, please welcome these new residents to the village. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Ken is the liaison, but also working with the welcoming committee this year is going to be Ellie Appling, and Ellie wants to tell us a little bit about how we're going to get these new residents involved. Ellie?
Well, hey there, everybody. We're going to get them involved now, and I have talked to Kaylee, and I have talked to Becky, and Leslie, and Mike's the last. But anyway, though you have been here for a while, you remember we had meet and greet. We had it every quarter, and it was like the birthday party. It was the new residents for the quarter were introduced, and a little something was told about them, and then we had dinner, and then you could visit, and it was really lots of fun, and you got to know them, and they got to know us, because now people see you and you say, I've never seen that person before, and so everybody in the world, I think, for 3 years, we've been struggling, but we're coming out of it. And another thing that has been a real detriment is the fact that we have not been able to have orientation. Now, that we used to, when you'd get in a certain number of new residents, or maybe 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever they wanted to do, they had a meeting. They had a luncheon or cookies and, and lemonade. But the head of every department or someone from that department talked to the new residents, and they found out what they could do and what they couldn't do and what was expected of them. And they just, I can imagine that they're really lost when they just thrown into a situation they can't meet people. And we've done the best we can, and Carolyn Tyler, of course, has just held it all together. And we had a meeting, and the best part of that is Carolyn's going to stay on, which is a marvelous thing. But we are going to talk to Leslie, and we're going to have a meeting of the people who Carolyn had used to orient people. And then if anyone else wants to join, they'll have a chance to do so. But that way we'll all be on the same page, you all, and we'll be doing the same thing for our new residents. And, those of us that have been here a long time realize little things that new residents need to know, that no way can you get it all printed. So, but anyway, we're going to start this back just as quickly as Mike thinks, it's safe to do it. But we will have meet and greet, and then we will have an orientation, and then we'll just go from there, and we'll get new ideas, I know. But thank you, and just continue to be real friendly to the new residents, and let them know the little idiosyncrasies that you've learned while you've been here. All the little secrets about ordering your meals at the end of the month that you've got left over. But anyway, we're excited about doing it, and I hope that a lot of people will want to be welcomers, and we'll get you started. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ellie. If you just be a little more enthusiastic, we'd be better off, Ellie. Thank you very much for all you do. And our last committee report is the Wellness Committee. Dr. Rick?
Can I get everybody to raise your hand way up high? Everybody, right hand, Curtis. Okay. Right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand. Great. You have all been pre-approved to the yoga class that is starting Mondays and Thursdays. Look at that. It's like a pre-approved loan. Okay. And I've already seen, and you're all beholden to that. And Mondays and Thursdays, 12 o'clock, starting Monday, May the 2nd. This is a 45-minute class to do uplifting music, and it's for all levels. Everybody has signed up for it. Thank you. And as well as for slower-paced folks. Okay, focusing on the breath, balance, and gentle strengthening. Enjoy the benefits of improved flexibility, stamina, and overall improved sense of well-being. You can do this class in a chair or bring your mat. And next month, we're going to have you raise your left hand. So you've had two aspects of whatever that's called, yoga. The other part of this is May 25th, at 10 a.m., there's going to be a walk. It's senior aging, and you're supposed to walk with green on, but May the 25th is a ways back, from now, but May is getting here quick. And so, in speaking of walking, Well, you know, we have a great system of sidewalks here, and maybe it should be used. I mean, you can walk alone or walk with a friend. God, what an interesting thing. I'm going to have to get a friend. I need a friend. Okay. And speaking of feet, of walking, you might want to get your feet wet in the pool. Now, there are some little rails there that you can stick your toe in the pool and check the temperature of the water as opposed to checking for your 401k. And to see if it's amenable for you to want to go in further. But you need to take off your socks and shoes before you step in the water and hold on to the rails. And it might be inviting. You might want to do that, George, to get into further into the water. That's about it. Y'all enjoy. Thank you for signing up. There's no charge. There's no charge for this, so enjoy.
Thank you, Rick. It's always good to call on you to wind up the committee report. You have something interesting. Anyway, okay, next up is our report from Mike Kraft, our CEO report. Mike?
Thank you. Miss Owens had me all excited with all of these activities going on. I thought, man, I can't wait to move in here. And then Mr. Plunk talked about the stock market report, and I realized I couldn't afford it anymore. So, but it always comes back, doesn't it? Yes, he is. He certainly is. First, an update on COVID. The last 7 days in Shelby County, we've averaged 46 new cases a day. That's still pretty low, but it's about double what it was a month ago. The new variant is pretty contagious. There's quite a bit of it out there, but it has not hit everybody like experts were afraid it would. The Center for Medicare Services evaluates the positivity rate in Shelby County, and for the last 14 days, it's been 0.6%. It stayed pretty level at that. In February, it was 11%. So we're doing pretty good there. About a month ago, there were 270-something active COVID cases in Shelby County, and as of today, there's about 540. And so it's about double what it was a month ago, but again, in January, there were over 8,000 at one time. So we're doing pretty good, really. Someone told me right before this that they heard a report from Shelby County that we have one COVID death every other day is the average. And at one point, I forgot what it was at one point, but it was hundreds that we were up to. So that's looking. Just keep in mind, symptoms from the variants we have today are a lot like a cold or allergy problems. And if you have something like that, don't assume it's nothing. You know, see if you ought to get tested or be careful. And if you have these symptoms, don't get out in big crowds. Don't go into the dining room until you know that you're okay. We were very fortunate for so long. We went a few months without any new COVID cases. And then over about the last 4 weeks, we've had, I believe the number was about 35 residents that came down with COVID. It was quite a few, and we had one employee that we know of. Most of these residents had symptoms, but none of them got very sick, or as far as I know, none of them got very sick. We were real careful to check everyone that believed they had been exposed to these people, and they were tested, and a few of them did come down with it from exposure to someone else, but most people that tested positive came to be tested because they were having symptoms. And that's exactly how we want it to work. If you think you may have symptoms, come get checked out. Because we had so many COVID cases over the last month, we got a visit from the Shelby County Health Department. The lab that runs our COVID tests, every lab has to report to the health departments the number of positives and where they are and things like that, so the health departments can keep up with it. So we did get a visit and an inspection, and that went very well. There were no deficiencies, or they had no criticisms of how it was handled here, and they didn't see any reason for undue concern and didn't leave us with instructions to do anything differently than we had been. Currently at the village, visitors are still permitted everywhere. We have been asking residents, employees, and visitors for the last 2 or 3 weeks while the COVID outbreak has been at its peak to wear masks in groups or going into the dining venues or what have you. And based on current conditions, I think it's okay if we relax that and not require it in those gatherings. You know, now I would hold on to them for sure. You know, if that happens again, we will again ask everyone to do this and be careful. And you know, just if you're around someone that you know is weakened due to chemotherapy or just general conditions, just be respectful and try to be careful around everyone, and we'll all get along that way. One thing that we're struggling with is that you don't know, like I said a minute ago, people aren't dying from COVID like they did, and that is wonderful. A year and a half ago, if we had 30 positive cases, we would have had deaths. And now, thanks to the vaccine, we do not have. And there's only, I think today, maybe 3 or 4 COVID patients in the hospital, in area hospitals, so that's not much. But that is causing some people to sort of adopt the attitude that, oh, if I get it, I'm not going to get sick, it's just a cold, I don't need to worry about it. And most likely that's true, but some people do still get really sick. And in a place like the village, we've got to be real careful not to spread it around any more than we can help, because some people, you know, at this age and this condition aren't going to battle it off as well as some of the rest of us. So let's just continue to be careful and use good judgment. To let you know how occupancy is going here at the village, in independent living, we are 81% occupied, which is low for us, but we have 10 units that are sold and people are waiting to move in. So that is a good, strong number. That's about the most that we've had in quite a while. And those are moving in anywhere from the next few days to, I think the last one scheduled is July 1st or something of that sort. We have 2 or 3 more that are on hold that we think will convert to sales. April was a really busy month for our sales team. So far, we have 4 signed contracts for the month of April alone, and 2 more are expected to sign by the end of this week, or it might bleed over to the first day or 2 of May. So right now we've got 4, and I think we're going to have 6 for a month's work, which is really good, very strong. In assisted living, remember 6 or 8 months ago, we were only about half full, just slightly under in assisted living. It really got lower during the pandemic and was slow to bounce back. But as of today, 30 of our 32 units are occupied. 1 more is about to move in, and that will leave just 1 vacancy. It's the very small studio apartment, and we always have trouble filling that because it is small, and most people don't want it. But there will be someone that will come along and be perfectly happy with that. So I think we're going to be full in assisted living real soon. In memory care, a few months ago, it got down to 4 out of 16. That was the one that during the pandemic, people seemed most hesitant to move into. And it's usually, for that level of care, it's usually family moving the resident in there, and they were just slow to do it. As of today, we have 9 apartments filled, over half, and 1 more is being assessed and expected to move in May. And then we will have other interest. We're getting a fair amount of interest from outside the village for our memory care units. And while residents get first choice if we have availability, if we don't have residents that are currently wanting it, we will move in outside people as well. In skilled nursing, as of today, we're 71% occupied. And it fluctuates day to day. Anywhere from 70% is about the lowest we've been to 96, 98%, just depending on flow of admissions coming from the hospitals. And we're doing about like every other facility in our community, and better than some, and certainly better than national averages. So we're not doing too bad there. Capital projects, a couple were mentioned in the committee reports. We have been ordering materials to renovate the locker rooms, and those materials are coming in now. We're not going to start them until we get everything, because we don't want to get it half done and then find out it's going to be a 3-month delay that they have to stay closed. So, but that is coming right along. The interior public areas, I think I mentioned last month that I retained an architectural and design firm to work with us on that. They are out of Virginia, and they specialize in retirement communities. And they are now doing work on improvements into the public areas, the main hallways, the activity rooms going off the hallways, the dining facilities, and just come up with a master plan that we can start implementing on that. They were here yesterday, in fact, and every time they come, they meet with a number of residents and our staff, and just developing ideas now. They were asking these residents, what do you like, what do you not like, what do you think the village ought to look like? And they're getting a lot of input, and they'll use that then to develop their recommendations. We had the land surveyed in the courtyards for the improvements we're going to be doing there. The survey has now been completed, and we are having construction drawings prepared for a putting green, a bocce ball court, and a dog park, a small dog park. So that will be coming along soon. It's very active right now. You may have noticed at the front entrance at Exeter, as you come in, if you drive in and you look to your left, there was that circular bench around a tree, and we're doing some beautification work there, putting bricks and pavers and making that look really nice. This is being paid for from an anonymous donation from a resident. So thank you to that resident, and it's really going to be a nice feature when this is done. Y'all may remember about 3 years ago, for those of you that were here, I told you that we had applied for and received a rating from a company called Fitch Ratings. And Fitch is one of the rating agencies that evaluates companies who have outstanding bonds as part of their financing, such as the village has. And at that time, we received a BBB-, which is an investment grade rating. There are very few CCRCs like us in the country that have that, and it was quite an honor to get it. Well, last week they did their annual update to determine, if we get to keep that rating, and I was a little nervous because during the pandemic, a lot of communities like ours have lost their investment grade rating. It's not the end of the world if it happens, but you really don't want it to. But we learned a couple of days ago that Fitch has renewed our investment grade rating, and that's really good coming out of 2 years of the pandemic. So we were very excited to learn of that. We see quite a few people going to the airport now that travel is returning and flight schedules are picking up and becoming a little more reliable. And the village, whenever possible, will be glad to arrange your airport transportation, as in we will drive you in one of our vehicles. When you need this, please give us at least 24-hour notice, because once if you call us the morning of, we may not be able to do it. I would suggest when you book your ticket, just know that you also need to book your hotel if you need one, and you also need to book your transportation. So call down to the concierge desk, and they will arrange that for you. We suggest that you leave here at least 2.5 hours before your flight time, because you'll probably have time left over, but you never know what traffic will be like. You have to check in through the security line at the airport, and one resident recently missed a flight because they didn't think they needed to allow that long. So please do that. Jerry Klein asked me to tell you that You've probably heard of all of the delays and problems with the new Tennessee license plate. And if you apply for that license plate, you may not get it before your current one expires. And the police department has told him, if you do not have your new plate yet, just keep a copy of the application in your car. If you get pulled over, show that to the police officer, and they'll won't put you as far back in the jail, at least. And apparently they're accustomed to dealing with this issue, so that's what they said to do. A couple of announcements about our associates. Jillian Stewart, who was our lead concierge, has transferred to move-in coordinator in marketing. Marketing was what Jillian's college training was for and what she ultimately wanted to do with her life, so this was well in tune with her directions, and we were glad to have her there, even though she was doing a great job at the front desk. Mo Caldwell is our new lead concierge at the front desk, and she had already been with us on a part-time basis for a while, and she is now the full-time lead concierge, and she will do a great job. Lisa Garner is our new vice president of healthcare. She's out of town today, or I would have had her up here and introduced you, but I will introduce her to you at another time. She has about 28 years in the business, and I think you will like her. Associate of the Month for April, Tony Ayers. Tony, would you come up? Thank you, Tony. I know you all know Tony because he feeds you almost every day. And if you don't recognize him, it's because he's half the man he used to be. But you're doing a great job there, Tony. But Tony's been with us about 5 years, and he was nominated by a resident and seconded and quadrupled by so many more. But, you know, they said that, let me see, where do I start reading here? That they talk about, Tony, how they will come in and be waiting on orders or whatever and just watch you do your work, and you're so good at it and so skilled. And this person said they just enjoy standing there watching you because you really know what you're doing around that kitchen. It said your culinary skills are excellent, and you quickly and accurately prepare the orders, and you're friendly and outgoing and attentive, and everyone just really enjoys having you there and working with you. I think that's the first reaction like that we've ever gotten up here. Clearly you're very shy, but would you like to say anything to the residents?
I would just want to say to each and every one of you all, it has been my privilege to serve you all. Every day is a different challenge, a different mood, a different time, a different everything. But I try to make sure I give each and every one of y'all the most I can give, and that's to give you the best I can as far as your food. I know who likes wood. I know who likes really wood. And so I try to make sure I put a different, take and feel on everyone. I have my regulars, Mrs. Norton, and that guy over there in the corner. I'm not gonna call Trouble's name too much. I try to come in and give my all to each and every one of you all. Thanks for letting me into your kitchen.
And Tony, the man that is so much trouble, I guess he's not all trouble. Also, due to the timing of how this meeting fell this month, we can now introduce May's Associate of the Month, and that is Ashley Sunderland. Ashley, would you come up? Now, you don't know Ashley as well as you know Tony. she still does so much to make life better here at the village. And Ashley is the coordinator of primarily maintenance, but also involved in housekeeping and security. And she does a lot of scheduling and ordering and coordinating and things that just have to really get done for things to go smoothly. And Ashley, you were nominated by some of your associates and who work with you. And, you know, some of the things that they said, you've improved and streamlined many procedures, and you organize and maintain the plant operation records. They say that Ashley is a highly motivated self-starter that needs very little direction. She accepts all challenges without complaint and eager to take on new things. And in fact, I have witnessed personally taking on a lot of projects that she has done really good at. Also, she, most of y'all don't go in the service entrance hall, and I wouldn't encourage you to necessarily, because there's a lot of dangerous activity back there. But a lot of our associates do go through there, and Ashley took it upon herself to decorate that hallway for holiday events and other things to help our associates feel good about their work and the things that they do here. So, Ashley, it's wonderful having you here, and thank you. And would you like to make a speech?
Can't really follow up Tony, but delicious. I just thank you so much. I really enjoy coming to work every day and making you all happy, and that's, you know, what I'm here for. So, you know, thank you. I really just thanks.
Oh, well, thank you. And Ashley came to us from Scott Medley. He worked for her in a different company, and when the need for this role came up, Scott said, I know just the one, and sure enough, he was right about that. The next thing I'd like to do is there's a couple of associates I'd like to ask to come up, Melissa Ruckstead and Jenny Eccles. Would y'all come up for a second? There is one other person I would be having come up right now, but she's not here today, and that's Candy Watts in accounting. And every month we have people that meet a certain anniversary date at the village, you know, 1 year, 3, I'm almost at 4. But when we have one that's been here this long, I want to bring them up and publicly recognize them and let you do the same. And Jenny Eccles works in housekeeping, and she's been here 16 years in April. Thank you, Jenny. And you know, that's quite an accomplishment these days, and we really are happy with you being here and look forward to many more years with you. And then Melissa Ruckstad, our Senior VP of Operations, and you all know her through the clinic and Lunch and Learns and things of this sort. Melissa has been here 17 years this month. So, thank you, Melissa. And were you here on opening day or shortly after? You were, okay. Dirt. Just dirt, okay. And Candy Watts has been here 16 years if she had been here. So anyway, thank y'all for coming up. And when you see these folks, tell them thanks for being here. Thank you, Jenny. I always open up for any questions if anyone has any. And someone did send me a question this week. Sometimes I get them in the mail. And someone said, I'm not kidding you, I noticed that Brody is in the shrub bed a lot less than he used to be. How did you do it? Well, you know, right outside of my office, Brody had a certain spot in the monkey grass that he liked to get in, and we knew that with spring flowers coming up, we didn't want him doing that. So I had a talk with him. And we had a pretty serious talk, and I reminded him where he was when we brought him here. And he was at a pound on death row. And I said, you don't want to go back to that place, and you know, you need to behave in that regard. And he has been, and there's other ways too. We spray some vinegar in that area, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the smell, and if I see him out there, I go and make a loud noise, and it scares him out, and then, you know, but anyway, he's doing a lot better. But as I was reading that note today, looking at it, I looked out my window, and there he was in it again. So But he's doing a lot better, and I think he will break that habit totally real soon. Other questions? Yes, sir, Doctor.
Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. So you just remember what month, and the first of the month, you can send it in online. They're running, they say they're running behind.
Yeah.
Mine is behind.
Maybe they'll have it worked out. Mine aren't due for a few months, so I may be safe. And also on that topic, I've been told that on the little emblem, the round emblem on the plate, you can request to have the words "In God We Trust" on there. But if you don't request it, it won't have it. So if that's important to you, ask for that. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Really appreciate a lot of what Russ also that we had what's we call a chain of command. Part of it, who's responsible for what goes to questions and things and try to get suggestion to
Well, I was about to say, who do you complain to? Anyone but me. All right?
That's why I said that.
Let me make a note of that, and we'll try to clarify all that. You know, occasionally we put out a phone and directory and what have you that has the departments and the directors and all. So that's a pretty good assumption there.
Making the connections going up.
We need to make it clearer as to. Okay. All right. Thank you. What else? Yes, ma'am. The question was, when will we know about the possible TV programming changes that we've been looking at in service? Clay, do you know any more than I do that you would want to answer this? This falls under the category, if you have a complaint, go to someone else.
So I wanted to give you guys plenty of time to get your surveys in, and honestly, I got one in my mailbox Friday, so I didn't want to cut it off too soon. But anyway, to cut to the chase, I've got an outside company compiling all the surveys. The good news is we probably got 100 surveys, so I was way more than I was expecting, but really I loved the information. So I'm going to follow up with them early next week, and we're going to get on a call, and they're going to put it all in a nice report and package, and depending on what that looks like, I may set up a meeting and share it with you guys. So soon. Thank you.
That's one of those things that we would love to find a better solution for, because I know all of you would like a better solution. It's also going to be a difficult one because everybody has different taste and needs on what kind of programming they want. So it has to be enough people that would be interested in the option, whatever it is, to make it work. So hopefully we'll have a good option to come back with. What else?
I think I do.
Yes, ma'am.
This isn't me because I eat in that.
Okay.
But does that mean what?
Is Jesse's gone, so I can answer that. You know, when we had the full table service, it was a lot easier to understand then, and we never want anybody to leave hungry. You know, if you get your serving and you say that was too skimpy and I need more, that's not what we're talking about. That's fine. But we always allowed, at the end of the meal, some people want dessert later. Fine, we'll box that up for you and you can take it home. With the buffet, it's become more of an issue that people would come in and get groceries for the week. And, and that's what we are trying to guard against. And, you know, and we also have issues with some people would want to bring their own containers. And at a buffet, you get into some health code issues as to whether that works or not. So we will probably be preparing the takeout boxes for the residents, I think is what he was planning to do. But that's the big thing, really. And likewise in the cafe, you know, the salad bar, the soup bar, and all that is there, and we want people to enjoy it and all, but don't come in and get, you know, enough to have 3 days of soup on, or, you know, empty out the shredded cheese on the salad bar and that sort of thing. So we're just going to have to be more careful about that, because it really, I mean, nothing's free, and you guys pay for everything here. So, you know, somebody might think, oh, gee, I'll take this, but their neighbors are having to pay for it. So we're having to just try to be careful and be fair and consistent with everybody. Yeah. But don't leave hungry from your meal. Just don't leave knowing where your next meal's coming from. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Great report, and it's great to recognize our employees. We do appreciate them very much, and thank you for
yes, we do.
Getting them up here. We appreciate that. I think the only thing else left to do is to give out the door prize. All right. Got your tickets out. The last three numbers, 988. 988. Going once? Okay, they shouldn't have left. Oh, excuse us. I can't believe the next number was 987, one below. That was unbelievable out of all these tickets.
Was the first one 988?
988,
Okay.
that's it.
I count those.
Great. All right. Thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you.